Hey, what's up everybody? How y'all doing? It's good to be back with you here at Babylon Talmud. Today we're studying Daf Kuf Chaf Tes of Masechta Shabbis, Daf 129. We'll be concluding the 18th parak of Masechta Shabbis, parak Mifanin. That is exciting. Today's an interesting daf. So we begin. So first of all, I don't know if you probably do hear. There's a lot of digging and excavating going on outside the house. It's been going on for a while, but I feel like they're making progress, which means that they're getting closer. So I think it's gotten louder over the past few days, or maybe it's a new project that sprouted up. So I hope it's not distracting. If it's distracting, let me know, and I don't know, maybe we can kind of edit out this stuff somehow. But it probably would have other nafkaminas in terms of quality, but akopanim. So the first part of today's daf talks about giving birth, right? About being mehalel Shabbos for a woman who's giving birth on Shabbos. That's going to be like the first section of our page. Yeah, it's like not super complicated, but it's surprisingly detailed. So, yeah, I didn't expect that. Like when I was going over it, there's a lot of details and I had to really think about it to make it misudar in my head. But I've made it misudar in my head, so I think we're good to go. And then we're going to spend a bunch of time talking about bloodletting, which is important because it's something that we do all the time. And, it's just good to know all the details about bloodletting. So I'm sure many things will be familiar already. It's always good to review. All right, let's get started here. Okay, Daf Kuf Chav Ches Amud Beis, like a few lines from the bottom. 3 lines from the bottom. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel. Says Rav Yehuda in the name of Shmuel. Chaya kozmat shekever pasuach ben Amar tzricha ani ben Amar lo tzricha ani mechalin aleh es haShabbos. A woman who is giving birth or has given birth, as long as her womb is open, and we're going to talk about soon what is considered her womb being open versus closed, but as long as her womb is opened, so then we can be mehalel Shabbos for her, whether she says, hey, I need, whatever it is, and you have to be mehalel Shabbos in order to do that, or whether she says, I don't need it. The fact of the matter is, as long as her womb is considered open, we can be mehalel Shabbos for her, whether she says she needs it or she doesn't. Nistam hakever, however, once her womb is closed, bein amra tzricha ani, bein lo amra tzricha ani, ein mechalin aleh Shabbos. Once her womb is closed, well, then whether she says that she needs this thing or whether she says that she doesn't need this thing, we are not mechalel Shabbos for her anymore at this point. Rav Ashi masni hachi. Now, this was how Rav Ashi taught this statement of Rav Yehuda in the name of Shmuel. Mar Zutra masni hachi. However, Mar Zutra explains Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel in the following way. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel, says Rav Yehuda in the name of Shmuel, Chaya kozman shekever pasuach. So this is the same as Rav Ashi, which is that as long as her womb is open, so then bein amra tzricha ani uvein amra ein tzricha ani mechalin aleh Shabbos. So when her womb is open, so then whether she says that she needs this thing or whether she says that she doesn't need this thing, either way we are able to be mechalel Shabbos. Nistam hakever, once her womb is closed, amra tzricha ani mechalin aleh Shabbos. If she says, I need you to do such and such for me, so then you can be mechalel Shabbos. Lo amra tzricha ani ein mechalin aleh Shabbos. But if she says that she doesn't need the thing, then we are not mechalel Shabbos. Fine. So really so according to Rav Ashi, the idea is that both according to Rav Ashi and according to Mar Zutra, when her womb is open, so then whether she says that she needs something, whether she says that she doesn't need it, either way you can be mechalel Shabbos. Once her womb is considered closed, well then according to Rav Ashi, whether she says that she needs something, whether she says that she doesn't need something, it makes no difference, and you may not be mehalel Shabbos. According to Mar Zutra, If she says that she needs it, you could be mehalel Shabbos. But if she says that she doesn't need it, or if she doesn't say that she needs it, then we're not mehalel Shabbos. Fine. Amle Ravina in the Mereimar. Says Ravina to Mereimar, Marzutra masni l'kulav, Ravashi masni l'chumra ilchasa kaman. So Ravina asks Mereimar, he says, look, Marzutra is more makil here, in that he says that nista makever, once the womb is closed, if she says that she needs something, you may be mehalel Shabbos for her. And Rav Ashi is being more machmir, in that he says that once the womb is closed, if she asks for something, if she says that she needs something, you may not be mehalel Shabbos for her. Who is the halacha like? Amar le. So Mereimar said to Ravina, halachik marzutra safik nefashos lahakel. The halacha is like marzutra, which is that once her womb is closed, if she says that she needs something, we are mehalel Shabbos for her, because safik nefashos lahakel, when it comes to something that could have the potential of being life-threatening, so then we are makil, and since she is in a precarious state after giving birth, even if she's at a point where we consider it to be nistama kever, that her womb is closed, nonetheless, if she says that she needs something, we can be mehalel Shabbos for her. Now, what are these definitions of kever pasuach, nistama kever? How do we define these points? At what point is it considered that her womb is opened during childbirth? Amar Abaye, Misha Sheteshev ala mashber. So Abaye says from the time that she sits on the birthing stool. What's a birthing stool? It means whatever she's going to be giving birth on or in, wherever she's going to be giving birth, whether it's a bed or, wherever else she might be giving birth. So once she is there, it is considered that her kever is pasuach, that her womb is open, and at that point, we can be mehalel Shabbos for her, according to everybody. Rav Huna ber Rav Yoshua Amar Misha Shadam Shoses V'Yored. So Rav Huna ber Rav Yoshua says it's from the time that she begins to bleed from the childbirth. Ve'amri la Misha Shechavosea Nosos Osa Ba'agapea. And some say that it is at the point that she's unable to walk and that she needs help. She needs assistance walking. Okay, fine. And it sounds like Lamaisa, we basically, that these could be at different points for different people. And therefore, I think it's just whichever one of these happens first. And at what point is it considered that her womb is open? At what point is it considered that her womb is now closed? And then it's the machlokes between Rav Ashi and Marzutra about when you could be mehalel Shabbos, if at all. Amar Abaye, Shlosha Yamim. So Abaye says after 3 days, it's already considered that her womb is closed, and then, then there's the machlokes Rav Ashi and Marzutra, but until then, her womb is considered open, and you can be mehalel Shabbos whether she says she needs it, whether she doesn't say that she needs it, or even if she says that she doesn't need it. Rava Amar Mishmed Rav Yehuda, Shiva v'Amri lo Shloshim. Rava says that, in the name of Rav Yehuda, that her womb is open for 7 days. Some people even say 30 days. Okay, so now we have a statement of Amri Nahar Da'e, Chaya Gimel Zayin v'Lamed. So Nahar Da'e now comes and makes a distinction between 3 days, 7 days, and 30 days. And I don't know, in my mind, I feel like you can almost say that he's like kind of explaining these statements of Abaye and Rava Amar Rav Yehuda. Meaning Abaye said that her womb is considered open for 3 days. Rava Bar Amar Rav Yehuda says that it's either 7 days, some days say it's 30 days. Nahar Da'e now comes and kind of gives a distinction between 7 and 30. So I feel like you can almost kind of say that Nahar Da'e is almost explaining or giving a take on the distinctions that Abaye and Rava were just talking about. So Amar Nahar Da'e, Chaya Gimel Zayin v'Lamed. When it comes to a woman who has just given birth, so there are different points. There's the first 3 days, there's between days 3 and day 7, and then there's from day 7 until day 30. Gimel, for the first 3 days, Bein Amar Tzricha Ani, Uvein Amar Lo Tzricha Ani, Mechalan Alei Asa Shabbos. For the first 3 days, whether she says that she needs things, or whether she says I don't need these things, we can be Mechal Shabbos, Mistama, because that's what's considered Kever Pasuach, that her womb is open. Zion, now from day 3 till day 7, Amar Tzricha Ani, Mechalan Alei Asa Shabbos, Amar Lo Tzricha Ani, Ein Mechalan Alei Asa Shabbos. Now from days 3 until day 7, so then if she says that she needs something, then we can be Mechal Shabbos for her. But if she doesn't say that she needs it, or if she says that she doesn't need it, so then we are not mechalel Shabbos for her. Okay, fine. Lamed, now from day 7 until day 30, afilu amra tzricha ani in mechalel aleh es Shabbos. Even if she says that she needs something, we are not mechalel Shabbos for her. Aval osen ayde aramai. You can do it by a non-Jew, by an Aramean. Kidu avula, it's like Rav Uda Breid of Eli. The Amar called Sarke Chol and Aisenai de Aramai, that b'Shabbos, that all of the needs of a sick person you can do by way of a non-Jew on Shabbos. Uchdu Rav Amnuna, like Rav Amnuna, the Amar of Amnuna, Darvishem Bosakana, Omer Lenachri V'Osa, something that doesn't have a danger, you can instruct to a non-Jew and he will do. Meaning, so we've just said that a Chole She'en Bosakana, somebody who's sick, I don't know, almost like a headache, I don't know, like as Rashi explains, if you look in Rashi, on the 3rd line of Rashi on the page, Davar she'em bo sakana chole, a person who's ill, she'em lo yaisu lo refuazo, ein mesukan lamus mikol makom tzarech hula. Right? So maybe it's more than a headache, but it's somebody who that if you don't give him this medication right now, he won't die. He'll survive. He can wait till after Shabbos, but he does need this medication. Okay? So that's a chole she'em bo sakana. And we say that chole she'em bo sakana, somebody who's not sort of mortally, it's not pikuach nefesh, but at the same time, this person does, can certainly use the medical aid, so the medical assistance, so that's a chol she'ein bo sakana, and we can, it sounds like you can even just instruct a non-Jewish person, explicitly to help, or, to ask to help. So, and we're saying that a woman who gives birth for the entire 30 days, from day 7 until the end of day 30, she is considered a chola she'ein bo sakana. Somebody who's sick, but is not it's not pikuach nefesh, but she is considered a chola she'ein bo sakana. During that entire 30 days, you can instruct a non-Jew to help. Very interesting. Amar V'Yudah Amar Shmuel. It says of V'Yudah in the name of Shmuel. L'chaya lamed yom l'may hilchasa. Okay. So, what are some like nafkamina? What's like a nafkamina for a woman who has just given birth? What's like something that she should be wary of during the first 30 days? Amri nardai the tvila. So Nardai say that during the first 30 days after childbirth, she should be wary about going to dip in like a river or something, because it's too cold, and she might, I guess maybe her body's very sensitive, and the river may be too cold, and she can get sick. Amar Rava le'amaran ela she'en baila ima, aval baila ima baila mechamema. Oh, so says Rava that when we say that a woman for the first 30 days after childbirth should not go to the mikvah, well, I don't know if it necessarily means the mikvah, but like, sure, the mikvah, but like to a cold river. So Rava says that is only so long as her husband is not around to keep her warm in bed at night. However, if her husband is around, well, he'll keep her warm. So therefore, she may go dip in the river even within the first 30 days after childbirth. Like the daughter of Chizda. Who is the daughter of Chizda? Rava's wife. Rava was married to the daughter of Chizda, as we know from the story of Bar Hedja, the dream interpreter, at the end of, towards the end of Masechta Brachos, right? Rava, after he's been taken advantage of by that corrupt dream interpreter, he says, I can forgive you for everything except for the daughter of Chizda, that I cannot forgive you for killing my wife. So the daughter of Chizda, before she was killed by a corrupt dream interpreter, so she had a baby. Tavla begotlas and yomin, and she went to the mikvah within 30 days after having given birth. Shalo b'fnei baila, and her husband was not around, and sure enough, v'itz denias, and she got cold. Ve'amtu la'arsa basrei derava lepumbedisa, so they went and they brought her bed over to Pumbedisa where Rava was, so that he can keep her warm. Very, very interesting. Also, what was Rava doing in Pumbedisa? Wasn't he a machoza guy? Maybe he was hanging out with his pal Abaye. Amr V'Yudah Amar Shmuel, said Rav Yehuda in the name of Shmuel, Osin Medur L'chaya B'Shabbos, you can make a bonfire for a woman who has just given birth, you can make a bonfire for her on Shabbos. Sounds fun. Savramina l'chaya in l'cholelo b'mosag sham in b'mosag achamalo. So they thought to say, okay, fine. So you can make a bonfire for somebody who's just for a woman who's just given birth, but not just for a regular person who's ill. And that would only be during the winter when it's cold. So you can make a bonfire. What if it's in the summer? What if it's like in the summer you just want to have fun and make a bonfire for a sick person in the middle of the summer? Can you do that? Itmar Amar Rav Chiya bar Avin Amar Shmuel. So we said Rav Chiya bar Avin and then Amar Shmuel. Who's Rav Chiya bar Avin? Who's Rav Chiya bar Avin, guys? Think. Daf Kuf Yud Aleph Mud Beis. 18 daf ago. Says Rava, Ani v'arisha b'chabura tirgama umanu Rav Chiya bar Avin. Rava says that he and the lion of the group of students explained it, and that lion of the group of students is Rav Chiya bar Avin. So says Rav Chiya bar Avin, the arisha b'chabura, the lion among the students, he said the name of Shmuel, Heikiz dam v'nitztanein osin lo medura afilu b'tkufas tamuz. If a person bloodlet on Shabbos and got cold, so you can make for this individual a bonfire even in the middle of the summer. Okay. Now we're gonna basically move on, transition to like bloodletting world. Here we go. You ready for bloodletting world? Great. Shmuel tzalchule tachtika de shaiga. So Shmuel, they would chop up some kind of wooden chair, and they would use that for firewood. Now, I don't know that this is on Shabbos, by the way. I think that at this point, we're moving into just like general bloodletting stuff. So like, Shmuel would bloodlet, and they would basically chop up some kind of chair and throw it into a fire. Rav Yehuda, tzalchule psor de yavna. So Rav Yehuda, they would chop up some kind of, also wooden kind of table, and they would chuck that in a fire for him. L'Rabba, tzalchule sharshifa. Now, Rabba, they would chop up a bench, a footstool, and they would chuck that in a fire for him. Abaye, l'Rabba, Abaye said to Rabba, isn't that a shtickle wasteful that you're taking this footstool and you're chopping it up just so you can burn it and keep yourself warm? Rabba says, guess what? Not destroying my own body is more important to me than not destroying my footstool. So if it's between making sure that I'm healthy after bloodletting, and making sure that my footstool is healthy, I'm going to burn that footstool to keep me healthy. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav, Lo'olam yimkor adam koros beiso, hikach min adam l'raglo. Says Rav Yehuda in the name of Rav, a person should sell the beams of his house, the wooden beams of his house, in order to ensure that he has shoes to wear on his feet. As Rashi says, in Dibur Maschil v'yikach menalim shein l'cha bizui min ha-mehalel yachiv bashuk, that the most humiliating thing is a person who never has to walk without shoes in the shuk. Now, we're not talking about these young whippersnappers who come back from India and it's very trendy to walk without shoes in the marketplace. That is not what we're talking about. We're talking about people who never can't afford a trip to India, and therefore they just don't have shoes. Okay. Heikiz dam ve'en lo mayochal. If a person bloodlet and he doesn't have anything to eat, okay. Yimkor min olam shebaragla v'yaspik me'en tzar kesuda. Wow. So we just said that a person should demolish his house and use the beams from his house in order to sell them so he can afford shoes. But if he bloodlets and he doesn't have any food to eat, he should even sell those shoes that he sacrificed his house in order to buy, in order to make sure that he has food to eat after bloodletting. Because I guess your shoes probably aren't going to be much help if you're dead. My tzar kesuda. Okay, so now what do you have to eat after bloodletting that you should buy? Rav amar basar, Shmuel amar yain. Rav said meat, Shmuel said wine. Rav amar basar, nafsha chalaf nafsha. Shmuel amar yain, sumka chalaf sumka. So Rav says that you should eat meat after bloodletting, because meat, after all, you have to kill an animal in order to eat meat. And therefore, just like you bloodlet, and maybe it's like a play on the pasuk like Ve'adam hu nefesh, that the blood is the nefesh, the soul. So therefore, because you bloodlet away some of your blood, which is your nefesh, so therefore kill an animal and eat its meat. Where Shmuel says drink wine because wine is red and blood is red, so therefore red, right? So Rav says nefesh in place of nefesh, therefore you should eat meat. Shmuel says red in place of red, therefore you should drink wine. Shmuel, biyom da'avid milsa, on the day that he would bloodlet, avdile tafshila de tachle, they would make him some kind of a cooked dish with spleen, because I guess spleen is red. Nice. Rabbi Yochanan shasi adenafik tihi me'une, sweet. Rabbi Yochanan would drink so much wine that the smell of the wine would be coming out of his ears. My oh my. Has anybody ever drank that much wine? I don't know if I've ever drinking enough. I don't know if I've ever drinking enough wine that the smell comes out of my ears. Or maybe it has, I just didn't realize. Rav Nachman shasi adi kafi tachle. So Rav Nachman would drink so much wine that his spleen would be floating in wine. Oh my gosh. Alright. Rav Yosef shasi adi nafik mirivda de chusilta. Rav Yosef would drink so much wine that I guess the smell maybe would like be coming out of the holes, or maybe the wine, who knows, something would be coming out of the holes that they punctured with the lancet when they were bloodletting. Okie dokie. Rav Mahadar Achamra Bartlasa Tarfe. Rava would drink wine that from like vines that had 3 leaves or something. I don't know, 3-year-old vines, something like that. Amlu Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak l'Rabbanon. Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak said to the rabbis, B'matusa minaychu, please, chevra, do me a favor, b'yom de akaza, on a day that you bloodlet, imru leveisaychu, instruct your wives, Nachman ikla legaban, that Nachman is coming. He was instructing the students, if ever you bloodlet, mention to your wife that I'm coming for dinner, that the Rosh Yeshiva, Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak, is coming for dinner, so that she'll make a whole big feast, and then guess what happens? I'm not actually coming for dinner, but you'll just have a lot of food to eat. Okie dokie. And I guess that would be good for after bloodletting, a good hearty meal fit for a Rosh Yeshiva. Nice. Now, being tricky in general is not a good thing. However, after bloodletting, if you need food to eat, you're allowed to be a little tricky. Dishari, that would be allowed. Man do avid milsa. Wait, what did I just do? I'm going to read that again. V'chulu iarume aser bar mehai arama dishari. And this is what it is. Man do avid milsa v'lo efshele lishko zuza. No, v'lo efshele. Somebody who has bloodlet and unfortunately doesn't have enough money to, afford like a proper meal, proper provisions. So lishko zuza macha. So let him take a worn out coin. V'lezel lishev chanvasa, and then let him go to 7 different stores. Right. So he takes a worn out coin, i.e., a coin that he can't actually use anywhere. No one's going to accept it. What he does is he goes to 7 different stores. At the time shir viasa. So he goes to 7 stores that sell wine, and in each one he drinks like a little bit of wine. Okay. And then what happens is, when it becomes time to pay, so meaning he goes to the store sells wine, he says, oh, can I taste that wine? So they say sure, and they give him a taste. And he's like, oh yeah, I like this wine. Great. And then he says, okay, I'd like to buy some. And then he pulls out his coin that is not going to work, and they're going to be like, what? No, get out of here. We don't accept that broken coin. So he gets out of there, but at the end of the day, he had a little bit of wine. Then he goes to the next store, and he does the same trick, until basically he's had enough, between all the different tastes, he's got the revius of wine that he needs for after his bloodlet. The ilo, and if this isn't an option, he doesn't even have a worn out coin that is unacceptable in any stores, lechol shev tamrei uchmisa. So you should eat 7 black dates, v'leishuf mishcha b'tzidei, and you should rub some oil on your temples, v'nigne b'shimsha, and you should go rest in the sun, and then what? Oh yeah, and then you'll be okay. Great. Avlet ashkeche l'Shmuel degani b'shimsha. This fellow Avlet found Shmuel lying in the sun. Amalei chakima diyudai bisha mi'ave tava. He said, "Hey, Jewish wise person, why are you lying in the sun? Don't you know that the sun is bad for you? And from something bad won't come something good. So like, why could you possibly be lying down in the sun?" Which is interesting that I guess back then the assumption that it wasn't good to have too much sun, but then for, at certain points, it was very in style to like get lots of sun. Now again, we know that it's not, or we assume that it's not so good to have too much sun. So anyways, Shmuel says, Amalei yoma da'akaza hu. He says, look, I bloodlet today, and that is why I'm lying in the sun. But the Gemara says, actually, interestingly enough, Velohi, that wasn't actually true. That's not why Shmuel was lying in the sun. Rather, Ika yoma demale but shimsha b'chule shata yoma denafla be tkufas tamuz v'saver lo igalile. That's funny. So actually, there is this one day a year it's actually really good to sit in the sun. There's one day a year that it's really good to sit in the sun, and that is the day that the period of Tammuz falls out on. And that day, it's actually very good to sit out in the sun. So that's what Shmuel was doing. He was just chilling in the sun and enjoying the healthy sun on that day, but he just didn't want to share this information with this fellow. Okay. Very nice. Ravu Shmuel da Amir Tarvayu, Rav and Shmuel both say, Kol amekil b'sudas hakaza dam mekilin lamzonosav min hashamayim. Anybody who is lenient when it comes to the meal after bloodletting, well, guess what? We're lenient, right? The heaven is lenient with giving you the sustenance that you need. The omrim and heaven, in the heavens they say, Hu al chayev lochas ani achus alav. This fellow doesn't even care about his own life enough to have a decent meal after bloodletting. Why should I, go out of my way to give him the sustenance that he needs? Clearly he doesn't really care. Rav Shmuel Damar Tarvayu, Haiman to Ovid Milsa lo leisev eicha decharich zika. So Rav and Shmuel say that a fellow who has bloodlet, so he shouldn't go in like a windy kind of place. Dilma shafile umana umokimle iraviasa, because maybe the bloodletter drained a lot of blood, and there's mamish, he left you that bare minimum that you need to survive, which the assumption is 1 revius of blood. And then this wind might come and even get rid of a little bit more blood. I guess maybe you have all these holes in your body, and maybe because of the wind, a little bit of extra blood might come out, and now you have less than the requisite amount to live, and you won't be living anymore. You can come to a precarious what's the word I'm thinking of? Precarious, situation. You can come to a precarious, situation, I guess. Fine. So therefore, do not, I feel it's like incident, precarious, whatever. What do you want me to tell you? You come to a precarious, what do you want me to tell you? I don't know. I forgot the word. Let's move on. So, there you go. So basically, don't go in the wind if you bloodlet. Okay? Don't do it. But I know you guys aren't doing it anyways, because you know this already. Shmuel Avaragil v'avid milsa b'veisa d'shev livenaya v'aricha. So Shmuel would, when he would bloodlet, predicament is the word I was thinking of. Precarious predicament. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's what I was thinking of. At least let's just assume that's what I was thinking of, so that I don't waste anybody's time, and let's move on. So now Shmuel would bloodlet in a place that would have very thick walls. It would be, now each livinaya, each brick would be 3 tfachim by 3 tfachim, and then an aricha was a half of a brick. So you go in a place that was 7.5 bricks wide, which is 22.5 tfachim thick walls. That's like pretty thick walls. So, because he didn't want to get cold when he was bloodletting. So Yom Echad Avid ve'argish benafshi. One time Shmuel bloodlet and he wasn't feeling very good afterwards. Badak, and sure enough, v'chazer chad aricha. He checked, and the place where he was bloodletting was actually only 7 bricks wide, not 7.5 bricks wide. So he was so sensitive to that. Ravu Shmuel Damar Tavayo Haimanto Avid Milsa Lito Midi Vahadar Leifuk. Somebody who bloodlets, he should eat epis, and then only after that he should go out. The Ilotai Midi, because if he doesn't eat anything, Ipaga B'Shachva, if when he goes out to public, he interacts with a corpse, Yarka Ape, his face is going to become green. So, and I guess the assumption is he doesn't want his face to be green. Okay? Ipaga Biman Dekato Nafsha Mis. And if he bloodlets and then goes outside without eating anything, if he comes in contact with a murderer, so then he himself will die. Ipaga Bidavar Acher Kashla Davar Acher. If he encounters a pig, well then he will get like tsaras or something. The assumption is pigs like have tsaras. Okay? Rav Shmuel da Amr Tarvayu, Rav Shmuel both say, Ayman de Avad Milsa, somebody who bloodlets, Leshe Purta V'Hadar Leikum, so you should just chill for a little bit and then get up. This kind of reminds me actually a little bit of like when you donate blood, stuff like that, and like you kind of give like a whole bunch of blood, you donate a whole bunch of blood. So like, you don't get up right away. You have a little sugar, you maybe eat epis, you kind of take it easy for a few minutes, get your bearings, and then you get moving. So Rabbi Shmuel say, "Haimanto Avid Milsa Lishe Purta V'Adalekim." You should wait a little bit and then get up. The Amar Mar, Hey Dvarim Krovin Lemisa Yosem Menachayim. There are 5 things that make a person closer to death than to life. And these are them: Achav Amad, if you eat a lot and then immediately get up. Shasav Amad, if you drink a lot and then immediately get up. Yashin V'Amad, if you sleep and then you immediately get up. Hekezdam v'amad, if he bloodlet and immediately get up. Shimesh mitaso v'amad, if he had intercourse and then immediately got up. Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Like I wonder, nowadays I feel like we're in such a rushed life that like people all the time like, eat quickly and get up and drink on the run. Everyone's always on the move. I don't know. I wonder if it's like different times. Like back then things were just kind of slower and you would kind of eat and take your time. Dude, now, who even eats anymore? Let's be honest, right? Alright, let's move on. Amr Shmuel, sheds Shmuel, Pursa Dedama Kotlas and Yomin. So, only bloodlet like every 30 days. Okay? Uben Aprakim, now, it's funny, like the assumption here seems to be that like a person lives for like 80 years or something like that. So like after 40 years, when you're in between like the 2 halves of your life, so then Yima'et, so then you should slow down the interval. Don't bloodlet every 30 days, rather every 60 days. Uvena prakim, and then halfway after that, so like when you're 60, well then Yachzov Yima'et, then you should slow it down once again to every 90 days. Okay? V'amar Shmuel said, Pursa dedama chad b'shabata, chad b'shabsa, arba umale shabsa. Says Shmuel. Now remember, Shmuel was a doctor, so it makes sense that Shmuel's kind of giving, that he's sort of the one to be giving all the bloodletting advice. So he said that the times to bloodlet are on Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. Aval sheni v'chamishi lo, do not bloodlet, however, on Monday and Thursday. To Amar Mar, mishiyesh lo zchus avis yakizdam b'sheni v'chamishi. Only somebody who can rely on the merits of his forefathers can bloodlet on Monday and Thursday. Why? What's wrong with Monday and Thursday? Why is it so precarious that you have to, only somebody who knows that they can rely on the merits of their forefathers? Shebezdin Shalmaila, and as we learned on Daf, what was it, Pei Testament Beis or something, you can't always rely on your forefathers to help you. Remember with Avram and Yaakov Avinu, that God was like, my children have sinned, what should I do? And Avram and Yaakov, they're like, alright, well just get rid of them. So I guess if unless you know that you can rely on the merits of your forefathers, they might just throw you under the rug. So it's probably better to just avoid bloodletting on Monday and Thursday. Shebezdin Shomayla v'Shamata Shavin Ke'echad, because as we know, on Monday and Thursday, the Gemara in Bava Kama says, these were one of the things that Ezra was misakin, that on Mondays and Thursdays would be the days of Bezdin. And therefore, now, and as Rashi points that out, and Rashi also points out that every day, a person gets judged by God, by heaven. So therefore, every day a person is judged, by heaven in any event. And on Monday and Thursday, additionally, there's like judgment happening in the world. So there's lots of judgment going on. So just avoid the days with heavy amounts of judgment. Fine. B'tlasu b'Shabbos my time alone. This is interesting. On Tuesday, what's wrong with Tuesday? Why can't you bloodlet on Tuesday? Mishum de kaimale maidim bezave. Because the constellation of Ma'adim, which is Mars, is on a pair. What does that mean? How do I explain this, Lemaisa? Well, okay, so there's like 7 constellations. Rashi kind of talks about it, the article talks about it. There's like 7 constellations, and they're always just going in these 7 cycles. So every day, there are 24 hours in a day, and every day there's a different constellation. Now, the constellation started on Wednesday. Okay, which means that the constellations kind of started at the first hour of the evening, I guess Tuesday night, which, is the beginning of Wednesday. And basically, if you do the cheshbon, so Mars is just one of the constellations. And they're always on a cycle of 7 constellations. So every 7 hours, or basically on hour 1, hour 8, hour 15, etc. So then you're back at Mars. I believe Mars was number 1. Is that correct? No, Mars is number 3. In any event, basically, if you work it out, so then it's only going to fall out that on Tuesday, and also on Friday, as we're going to see, only on Tuesday and Friday, Mars falls out during the day, okay? Right? Meaning there's 12 hours of night, 12 hours of day. The assumption is that you're not going bloodletting at night, so we don't really care when Mars falls out at night. We only care during the day. And only on Tuesday and on Friday does both Mars fall out during the day and also on an even hour during the day, because the even hours, the shadim are kind of have more of a chance to kind of get you. So therefore, since Mars falls out during the day time hours on an even hour, and which is on Tuesday it's on Tuesday it's hour 8, and on Friday it's hour 6. So, because that happens, don't go bloodletting on Tuesday. We'll get to Friday in a minute, but don't go bloodletting on Tuesday. Got it? Good. Weiter. Fine. There you go. So the reason why you don't do it on Tuesday is mishum dekaimele maidim bezavi, because Mars falls out on an even hour. Maile shabsa nami kaima bezavi, but on Friday also it falls out on hour 6, which is an even hour of the day. The Gemara answers, came into Dashu Beirabim Shomer Psoyim Hashem, that since lots of people bloodlet on Friday anyways, so God takes care of He guards the foolhardy. Since everyone's doing it, that makes it, you can do it, it's okay. And Rashi says because, we've just talked a lot about how important it is to have a good hearty meal after bloodletting. So on Friday night, of course, you're having a hearty meal for Shabbos. So therefore, people would bloodlet on Friday so that Friday night they can, have their big hearty Shabbos meal, and that will be healthy. Amar Shmuel, Daled duhu Daled, Daled du arbesar, Daled du esum va'arba. So on a Wednesday, Wednesday, of course, is the 4th day of the week. So a Wednesday that is the 4th day of the month, a Wednesday that is the 14th day of the month, a Wednesday that is the 24th day of the month, Daled deleka arba basre, or a Wednesday that there are not 4 more days left in the month after it, Sakanta, all of those are dangerous. Don't bloodlet on those days. Rosh Chodesh, V'sheni lo, Chulsha, Shlishi lo, Sakana, on the first 2 days of the month, you can become weak if you bloodlet. On day 3 of the month, it's Lamaisa dangerous. Maile yom matava, Chulsha, Maile yom de'atzarta, Sakanta, if you bloodlet on Erev Yom Tif, so you can become weak. If you bloodlet on Erev Shavuos, you can become dead. V'gazru Rabbanan akulu ma'ale yom hatava mishum yom hatava datzeres, and the Chachamim made a gzeira that you should not bloodlet on any Erev Yom Tivs, because out of concern of we don't want you to bloodlet on Erev Shavuos. Denafik beizika ushmei tavuach, because on Erev Shavuos there is a wind that is called tavuach, butcher. Butchers are good for some things, but bad omens for other things. The ilo kiblu Yisrael Torah have a tavach lul bisrayu lul damayu, that if the Yidden would not have accepted the Torah on Har Sinai, at Har Sinai, so this wind would have gone and butchered all the Yidden, their flesh and their blood. Ha 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 ha. Sounds rough. So therefore, don't bloodlet on Erev Shavuos and just not on any Erev Yom Tivs, so that we won't get your blood and your flesh all butchered up and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that would be like messy. Okay. Amr Shmuel, said Shmuel, Achal chita v'hekiz dam, if a person ate wheat and then bloodlet, lo hekiz ela le'osa chita, well then all of the bloodletting that he did was really just to kind of undo that. Well, not exactly undo, but it's like after you eat bread, so your body's very heavy. So basically all of the bloodletting is really just going to be to like lighten up that heaviness invoked by the bread. So basically don't eat bread before bloodletting. So funny, yeah. It's like almost like when you go for a blood test, like don't eat anything before you do the blood test. Like interesting the parallels between all the blood work that we do nowadays. I mean, I guess Lemaisa, I was joking before about all of us bloodletting, but yeah, there are different things that we do. Blood tests, donating blood. I feel like bloodletting is like kind of similar to like donating blood, where you kind of give a bunch of blood. But even so, like not to eat and that kind of stuff. This is only if you're bloodletting for refuah, then you shouldn't eat. Then you shouldn't eat wheat. But if you're just bloodletting because you want to like lighten up your body, so then that's fine. I mean, if you have like too much blood or something like that, so you just want to get rid of some blood. So in that event, it doesn't really matter what you ate before, and you're still getting rid of some blood. Hamakiz dam shtia la'alter achila ad chatzi mil. Somebody who bloodlets, so you can eat, you could drink immediately. However, for eating, you should wait for the amount of time that it takes to walk a half a mil. Ibayalu, they want to know, shtia la'alter maile avabasar achi kashi. Are we saying that drinking is good when you do it immediately, but after immediately it's not good? Odima lo kashi v'lo maile, or maybe after immediately it doesn't matter, it's not good, it's not bad. Teku, we don't know the answer to that. Ibayalu, they ask another kasha, achila ad chatzi milu de kamaile. Are we saying that when you eat at like literally the amount of time, after the amount of time it takes to walk half a mil, then it's good for you, abasar achi umikame achi kashi, but after the amount of time that it takes to walk half a mil or before that, it's bad for you, or maybe it's not good nor bad, teku, we don't know the answer. Machriz Rav announced, Mea kari bezuza, if you have 100 gourds that they're selling for one zuz, well, go get that. Mea reshe bezuza, if there are 100 heads of animals that they're selling for a zuz, well, it's a bargain. You should go get it. Mea sfame v'lo klum. Now this is gross, friends. You ready? 100 lips. Yuck. 100 like lips of animals. Just stay v'lo klum. Just like stay away from it. Yuck. Would you want to eat that? That sounds gross, right? Eat the lips of an animal. Ugh. Amr of Yosef. Said Rav Yosef, Ki avinan be Rav Huna, when we were in the Bismedrash of Rav Huna, Yoma de Mefagwe be Rabbanon. It was a day where all the rabbis over there were being lazy, and I guess they weren't showing up. Amre, they said, Idna Yoma de Sfamehu. They said, today is a lip day. V'lo yadayna Micah Amri, says Rav Yosef, I had no clue what the heck they were talking about. But the point is, just like Rav was saying, don't like buy any lips, it's not worth it. So here also they're saying like the day was a waste, it wasn't worth it. Okay. Mikoshin atibur, you can tie the umbilical cord of a little guy. Taner Abanan, koshin atibur, Rabbi Yossi Omer af chotrin. You can tie the umbilical cord of a little guy that was just born. Rabbi Yossi says you can even cut the umbilical cord. Okay. And you can even like insulate the placenta so that it will keep the baby warm. Interesting. Yeah, the article kind of said like this is something that is not proven by science. But it sounds like the point is that you could, I guess what they would do is after the baby was born, they would bury the placenta in the ground. And by burying it in the ground, that somehow was good for the baby. It would like heat up the baby. Interesting. But what about it if it's on Shabbos and you can't bury it in the ground? So what do you do? So, so the daughters of kings, they would bury on Shabbos, the placenta in a container of oil. The daughters of the wealthy, they would bury or insulate the placenta in combed wool. The daughters of poor people would insulate the placenta in rags. Amr of Nachman, Amr Rabba bar Avua, Amr Rab Halache Krab Yossi, Says Rav Nachman in the name of Rabbi Bar Bua, in the name of Rab, that the halacha is like Rabbi Yossi, that you're allowed to cut the umbilical cord on Shabbos. V'amar Rav Nachman, Amar Rabbi Bar Bua, Amar Rab, Modim chacham Rabbi Yossi betibur shel shnei tinokos shechotrin ma'itaima diminatre adade. That nonetheless, that Rav Nachman says the name of Rabbi Bar Bua, says the name of Rab, that the chacham nonetheless admit to Rabbi Yossi that if you have twins, and the twins are going to be pulling against each other, and that can be dangerous if they're like, I don't know, somehow attached to the same umbilical cord or the same placenta or something, that you'd be able to cut the umbilical cord so that they don't pull against each other, and that can be dangerous. V'amar Rav Nachman, Amar Rabbi Bar Avua, Amar Rav Kola, Amar b'parshas tochecha osin l'chai b'Shabbos. Anything that is said in the pasuk of Musar that Yechezkel said to the Bnei Yisrael. So any of those things that we're about to enumerate, elaborate, elucidate, talk about. So all these things are allowed to do for a woman who just gave birth on Shabbos. Shenemar, as the pasuk says, Umoldosayich biyom huledes osach lo charas sharech uvmayim lo ruchatz lemish'i ve'amleach lo humlachas ve'achtel lo chutalt. So so the one who gave birth to you on the day that that person birthed you, locharas sharech, he did not cut your what was that? I think the umbilical cord maybe. Uvmaim lo ruchatz, and he didn't bathe you in water, and v'amleach lo umlachas, and he did not salt your skin to like make it harder. V'achtel lo chutalt, and he didn't put you in clothing. So umodosayich b'muledes mikan shem yaldim es avalad b'Shabbos. So we see that you can birth a child on Shabbos. Lo charas sharech mikan shechotzchin atibur. So we learn from here that you can cut the umbilical cord b'Shabbos. Uvmaim lo ruchatz lemishi, and we did not wash off your. We did not wash you. I forget what lemishi is. But we didn't wash you off. So from here we can wash, we can bathe the new guy on Shabbos. You weren't salted. So you can apply like salts or whatever you want to apply to the baby to kind of make his skin stronger. We learn from there that you can swaddle a little guy on Shabbos. We have just concluded. No, it's not what it means. It means we will come back to you. Parak HaMefanen. Sweet. Well, Perak Mefanen. That was great, guys, right? Yeah, sure. Why not? So today was Daf Kuf Chav Tes of Masechta Shabbos. Let us review what we learned. So in the beginning, we were talking about being mehalel Shabbos for a woman who either is giving birth or has given birth on Shabbos. So we had a statement of Rav Yehuda in the name of Shmuel, and we had two ways of understanding his statement, one by Rav Ashi, one by Mar Zutra. So Rav Ashi explained that when a woman's womb is open, so whether she says that she needs something, whether she says that she doesn't need it, we can be mehalel Shabbos for her. Once her womb is considered closed, then whether she says she needs something, whether she says that she doesn't need something, we may not be mehalel Shabbos. Mar Zutra's explanation of Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel, he agrees with Rav Ashi regarding that when her womb is considered open. So then, whether she says she needs something, whether she says that she doesn't need it, we may be mehalel Shabbos for her. However, where he disagrees is that he says that once her womb is closed, so if she says that she needs something, you can be mehalel Shabbos for her. If she says that she doesn't need it, so then we're not mehalel Shabbos for her. Fine. Then we said, at what point is it considered that a woman's womb is open? So Abaye says, well, once she goes to the location where she will be giving birth, whether it's a bed or whatever it might be. Rav Huna Bar Rav Yoshua says it's once she begins to bleed or if she needs assistance walking. At what point is her womb considered closed? Abaye said 3 days. Rava said the name of Rav Yehuda 7 days, or some say it's 30 days. Nardai said that, and I think maybe he's like kind of explaining these different distinctions, these different stages, which are that for the first 3 days, you could be mehalel Shabbos, whether she says that she needs something, whether she says that she doesn't need something. For the next 7 days, if she says that she needs something, you could be mehalel Shabbos for her. If she doesn't say that she needs it, then we're not mehalel Shabbos for her. Then for the remaining, for the remnant of the first 30 days, well then, you cannot be mehalel Shabbos for whether she says she needs something, whether she says she doesn't need it, but you can ask a non-Jewish person to assist and be mehalel Shabbos to assist this woman. And we also say that in general, a chole she'ein bo sakana, you may ask a non-Jew to be mehalel Shabbos for this person. And then we kind of just talking about bloodletting for the rest of the daf. I mean, I don't really know what to pull out about bloodletting, but that was bloodletting. And then at the end, we get back into the machlokes between the Chachamim and Rabbi Yossi regarding cutting the umbilical cord on Shabbos. And Rav Nachman says in the name of Rav Bar Avua, in the name of Rav, that the halach is like Rabbi Yossi, that you may cut the umbilical cord on Shabbos. Cool. Friends, have a great day, or night, or whatever. Peace.